It's time for the second half of the Saturday doubleheader from the Kaplan Center as the Mount St. Mary Knights welcome the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy Mariners for a clash in the Skyline Conference. Matt Scalzo alongside Lucas Stackpole. If you were with us for the women's game, thanks for joining us once again. If you were with us for the first time, glad you can make us part of your Saturday. We've got a good one in store. The Mariners of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy come in 6-10 overall with 2-5 record in Skyline play. Are coming off a tough loss against Mount St. Vincent on Tuesday. As for Mount St. Mary, Coach Kadlubowski in his 17th season, it's been a tough run for his team. They've lost 13 in a row. They're 1-15 overall, 0-7 in Skyline play, but they feel like they have a good chance today against the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy that is led by the focal point of their team in Drew Zalesic. Lucas, what are you looking forward to today as we just got handed a whole box of pizza?
Other than this half-eaten pizza I was just handed, so I completely lost my train of thought.
I mean, so have I, but we're underway from the Kaplan Center. The Mariners in their red grays, Knights in their home whites. So we'll look at the starters for today's game. Well, I mean, what a start here. We didn't even get into the game as Zalesic fades, rolls in and out. Offensive rebound to Max Keppel. Number 5 in gray. He's the guy you want to watch. Drew Zalesic leads the Skyline in scoring and in rebounding. And right on cue, he drives down the lane, puts it in. He averages 22.1 points per game and 10.1 rebounds per game. The only player in the Skyline to average a double-double. As Brendan Graham gets an open look from 3 off the mark, and Zalesic getting it done on both ends, snags the rebound.
I think if you're the Knights, you just look to get back on the saddle. I mean, like you said, it's a tough go of it. Like you said, on a 13-game skid, but really the only game that matters is the one you're playing right now. And like you said, Coach Kadlubowski says he feels like his guys have a legitimate shot to take this one today. You just got to play like it. Solid start so far.
A steal, they'll look to run as Connor Siren gets an open look on the baseline. Off the mark, a rebound for Isaac Venzel. One of the 2 captains along with Zalesic on this team. The rest of the starting 5 has Mason Laverne running the point guard position, Max Keppel, and Clark Castleberry as the 5. 6'8" is Castleberry. Big advantage over this Mount St. Mary team. We'll look at their starting 5, which it's been the same 5 for the last little while as Zalesic.
How is that not a travel?
Coach Kadlubowski wanted to travel or something, but no whistle from the referees, and Zalesic took advantage of it, as I think everyone on the floor besides him thought that the play was dead. But the starting 5 for Mount St. Mary: Brendan Graham, Rob Geramino, Ryan Graham, J.P. Egan, and Connor Siren. They've started the last 6 games. That 5, as that one's thrown out of bounds. That's a tough start to begin for Mount St. Mary. Coach Kadlubowski felt optimistic going into today's game. Looking to find consistency. They competed against the top team in the Skyline, and SUNY Maritime last time out on Tuesday fell 74-56. As Egan looks to run the floor, loses it on the way up, but poked out of bounds off USMMA.
I mean, 2 teams with less than ideal starts in conference play. I mean, I don't want to say you want to play against each other, but for each of these teams, they're seeing this as a possibility. It's kind of a stepping stone. I mean, 1 foot in front of the other, but it starts with 1.
Laverne pokes the inbound pass out of bounds. And as you said, both teams have had tough seasons. There's no way to sugarcoat it, but both see this as a chance to get things going. For Mount St. Mary just to get back in the win column and play consistently good basketball, as Ryan Graham slithers to the cup and finishes. He's played really strong over the last 10 games. He's been the best player in that stretch. He scored in double figures in 7 of them. And he was sizzling heading into that contest against Maritime. Was held to 7 points. First time he's held below 10 points in the last 4 games. And Connor Siren gets his hand in the lane, pokes it away. Leading scorer on this team. Graham up ahead, gets it to Siren. Good transition basketball. from the Knights. We're tied at 4.
I see down there, just looking at the roster, I can't help but wonder how are the Mariners going to handle this 8-man rotation. I mean, 6 and 10, it could be better, but it could also be much worse, especially when you're only playing with 8 people.
Yeah, they got 9 listed on the roster, but Tim Barton, a freshman guard, hasn't played in any games. He's not here today. I didn't get a chance to ask Coach Pryor why Barton hasn't played this year, but they've been running with 8, and it's a physical and aggressive 8 that is going to compete at all times when they're on the floor, as Giramino nearly lost it. Graham goes down the lane. The follow by Giramino goes, and the Knights jump in front on a 6-0 run.
And if you're the Knights, this is exactly how you wanted to start this game.
Coach Rob Pryor, who's in his 8th season with U.S. Merchant Marine, says that this is by far the youngest team he's worked with and also the smallest roster that he has had. It's Castleberry thought about a 3, gives it off to Keppel. Kick into the corner. Inside Castleberry, using his big frame. I definitely thought he got away with a travel, but he misses either way. Giramino in transition, steps into a 3 and hits. Good reason for optimism for Coach Cad. It's a 9-0 Mount St. Mary run, and they hold a 5-point lead.
I mean, it's 6-8. You can't leave them unattended in the block like that. Good defense there from Siren. I wouldn't be surprised if the Mariners just keep trying to feed him the ball.
In transition, drop pass, Giramino again. Back-to-back triples from Rob Giramino. It's a 12-0 Mount St. Mary run, and that will prompt a timeout from Rob Pryor. He wants to talk things over, but the Knights feeling good in the first 5 minutes, trying to snap their long skid. Lucas, what has stood out to you about how they played so far?
I mean, it's a near-perfect start. I mean, the defense has been really good. I mean, the Mariners opened on a 4-0 run, but like you said, they're on a 12-0 run. They're playing defense and they're scoring at the other end. When you do both of those successfully, you usually put yourself in a good spot. And I wonder if, I mean, obviously you don't want to let your foot up on the gas, but we talked about the Mariners' 8-man rotation. I wonder if that, I mean, 6 wins with an 8-man rotation is really good. I wonder if that'll just catch up to them at some point today.
Rob Giramino has come out sizzling. 3 for 3, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. Someone that has just averaged 4.6 points per game. Well, that average is certainly going to go up based off these first 5 minutes, and he's well on pace to shatter his career high of 13 points. We'll see if he can keep the hot streak going as the Mariners, coming out of the timeout, just look to find some momentum offensively. Down the lane, Wenzel slips it to a circling Zalesic, and it bounces off the back rim.
And the Knights dip into their bench, which is a luxury the Mariners don't exactly have.
Siren, he'll step into a 3. Off the mark, Zalesic plucks it out of the air. Coach Pryor says, yeah, it's our smallest roster, but this is a team where the 5 that start the game might just stay out there the whole game and not get tired. As Zalesic, what a finish. Sliding through. And the referee talking to the Mount St. Mary bench saying, you gotta stop talking or I'm gonna give you a warning. Coach Kadlabowski harping that sentiment as well to his bench.
I mean, like we talked about in the last game, I don't know how many of our viewers were there for the first one, but just there's no need to draw any pointless fouls. You know, there's no benefit, and you're only hurting yourself, especially from guys that aren't on the floor.
Good pressure from the press of USMMA. This is a long team. Not like bench-wise or depth-wise. Pure length on the floor is absurd. Castleberry at 6'8". Well, of course, he's going to have a long wingspan. Zalesic, he's got long arms, as does Keppel, who feeds it inside. An offensive foul is called against Castleberry. If you're looking at the starters, Laverne's the shortest at 5'11". Zalesic is 6'3". Keppel is 6'6". 6'8" Castleberry, and Wenzel is 6'1". There's a lot of length on this court.
And that's something I expect the Mariners plan to use to their advantage. I mean, if you have a guy who's 6'8", try and feed him the ball.
Siren was looking for Piedra backdoor. As Lucas talked about, a lot of the reserves have come in for Mount St. Mary. I would have to imagine that that's a point of emphasis, is they want to keep players fresh and see if they can tire out this short rostered team. As Zalesic tried to save it, the shot clock was winding down. They were just able to get a shot off, and then went off the arm of Wenzel. Wasn't able to control the rebound. As Drew's brother Aaron Zalesic will check in place of Keppel. Rivera. Giramino puts it up, puts it in. Rob Giramino, red hot from beyond the arc. 3 for 3. He's up to 11 points, and the lead is back up to 9.
And I mean, if you're the Knights, you got to feel good about the start. We're about halfway, give or take about halfway through the first half. We're about 7 minutes in. And so far, no notes.
Zalesic needed a different club. He goes long, but they get a second chance as it goes out of bounds off of Mount St. Mary. Giramino and Rivera were both there looking for the rebound.
And like you touched on, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Kadlubowski goes with the hockey-style substitution, just constantly cycling fresh legs, because that is an advantage you do have without even playing the game. It's just roster size, you have more manpower.
An easy inbound pass to Zalesic, who converts once again. He's got all 8 Mariners points. Tucson off to Brennan Graham, and got his engine started a little too quick. Traveled before he dribbled.
The Mariners' aggressive defensive approach, they go to the double the ball. They had somebody open, but if they can't get the pass off, it'll be a long game.
Through 8 minutes, it's a 7-point lead for Mount St. Mary. Laverne, the kick, flip inside. Zalesic, he's got all 10 points. And he's just been finding the soft spots in this Mount St. Mary zone. This isn't a Mariners team that is going to kill you with the 3-ball, as Piedra steps into one, rolls in and out. Good box out by Castleberry. And that's been something we've seen over the season, is that teams take advantage of this zone from Mount St. Mary. And a lot of times they hit a lot of threes, as Zalesic stepped out of bounds. I think that was going to go out of bounds off of Giramino.
Yeah.
And just caught the arm, I think, of Laverne, so then Zalesic had to save it. But
I was going to say, both teams really solid starts on defense. The Mariners really aggressive in their half-court set. Outside the arc, they've tried doubling the ball, and for the most part, it's worked. That shot goes down.
Then Tucson steps into a 3, and he hits. That is the 4th 3 made from Mount St. Mary. They are just making 6.4 threes per game.
And if you're on pace to match your season average in the first half, I'd say you're in a pretty good spot.
Laverne splits through, draws contact against Tucson. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. And what I can say from so far in these first just about 9 minutes is that this zone really works against the style of offense that USMMA tends to run. It's not going to beat you at the 3. They just shoot 23.1% from beyond the arc, which is 12th in the Skyline, so last. They're also last in free throw percentage at 59. This isn't a great shooting team, and with how aggressive this zone can be, this really plays in the hand of Mount St. Mary, and you've seen it so far with those traps in the short corner.
I mean, you have to assume the Knights have done their homework. I mean, like you said, the defense the Knights have trotted out seems to perfectly counter the Mariner offense.
Laverne misses both free throws. Zalesic got the offensive rebound, but he couldn't finish. And here come the Knights in the half court. Matt Monaco into the game. He joins for the 5 starters with the Graham brothers, Siren, and J.P. Egan. Ryan Graham eyes up a three, knocks it through. The Knights are hitting these open looks from beyond the arc, something they haven't been able to do for much of this season, and they hold an 11-point lead over the Mariners, who are in their last contest against Mount St. Vincent, got off to a slow start. And now another turnover for Siren, jumping through to poke the ball out. Gets it inside, working against the smaller Laverne, has it poked at. Ball is loose, tie up, jump ball, possession goes the way of the Knights. Now, as I was talking about, a 14-point loss against Mount St. Vincent, not terrible for USMMA, but they trailed 42-17 at the half.
Oh, man.
It's not exactly an easy feat to overcome. I'll see if they can get things going as Monaco, runner, just inside the paint, rolls in and out. Drew Zalesic kicking in the corner. Wenzel a three, and he'll rattle it in. Big time bucket.
Wide open look there.
Wenzel just shooting 18% from beyond the arc, but when you get an open look, you got to shoot it. Pump fake, Brendan Graham, nice move, straight to the cup. Got his defender in the air and then split past another to push that lead back up to 10. Brendan Graham with his first bucket, coming off a season-high 12 points in the loss against SUNY Maritime.
The Knights so far have just played really complete basketball. Another almost forced turnover, and they've looked really good on offense.
Shot clock down to 5, deep three, off the back heel. Offensive rebound, Zalesic, up top Keppel. He'll try his luck, rolls in and out, and Monaco tracks down a loose ball. Graham inside to Siren. Back up top, calls for a screen.
The Mariners defense doing a really good job applying pressure.
Shot clock down to 5. Egan, the slip to Monaco all alone.
Good finish.
Acrobatic finish. I didn't think he'd have to go with the reverse, but it looked like he was losing his footing, and he was able to flip it in.
And that's the big con to a press is it's once you break it, it's somebody always is behind the defense. The Knights take 25 seconds of perfect defense. The Knights get somebody deep, knock it home.
Up top, Zalesic, shot clock winding down, comes up short, and another offensive rebound. This is a very physical basketball team, and as you would expect with a service academy, they're well conditioned and they're okay with playing that physical brand of basketball. Just right now, they're not getting the shots to fall. Keppel won't go. Another offensive rebound. Hart loses it in the paint, stays with it, and gets called for a travel. A frustrating first 13 minutes for USMMA.
I mean, like you said, this isn't a team that's going to beat you with the three ball. I think you mentioned some 20% from beyond the arc. Not too much success today. They're getting a lot of looks. If that's intentional, I don't know, but they haven't gotten a lot of those three-point shots to fall.
And it's a team that is heavily predicated on scoring inside. And Mount St. Mary has done a phenomenal job at taking that away despite the height disadvantage. But with Castleberry out, it's kind of a lot more of longer but skinnier players as Graham gets open from the corner. Swatted out of bounds off the arm of Piedra.
I don't know if all these looks are intentional if they're set up, but I think the Knights are just saying, hey, prove you can beat me with this. I mean, they're fine with the Mariners taking these three-point shots, and if they eventually start to go in, I'm sure they'll rectify whatever they have to rectify. But at this point, I feel like they're just encouraging the Mariners to start taking these threes.
Which we've seen in games past where teams that have shot the three ball well, especially like we saw earlier in the year with Alfred State, who shot 21 of 43 from beyond the arc. Yeah, that's going to be a recipe for success. However, with a team like USMMA that very much struggles shooting beyond the arc, Mount St. Mary is okay to live with that. You cannot live with that against, I'd say, probably the other 10 teams that Mount St. Mary will face in the Skyline, and like we saw with Alfred State.
That's exactly it. I don't think anybody will shoot as well as Alfred State did ever again, but still, I mean, prove the Mariners have to, if you're the Knights, the Mariners have to prove to you they can beat you with a three, and if they can't, keep letting them do it.
Shot clock winding down. Germino doesn't get a shot off. And you're seeing where the strength is for the Mariners, is on that defensive end, getting that shot clock down, and they did a good job staying in front of their defenders. Didn't find that slip from Monaco that we saw as the shot clock was winding down.
And I'd still say the Mariners have been playing really good defense. It's just the offense has yet to pick up where their defense has left off.
Slipping into the lane, the drop pass for Zalesic goes off his foot, and he'll draw a foul as that shot clock was winding down.
And that's a tough foul. 28 seconds of really good defense. I mean, that foul is seemingly unavoidable with somebody going back up with it, but it's just less than ideal.
Yeah, Connor Gemmel thought he had closed down the angle for Zalesic, and he just kind of leaned backwards. Their arms got tangled up. And Zalesic misses from the free throw line. If there's any chink in the armor of Drew Zalesic, his free throw percentage isn't phenomenal at 63%. And he goes 0 for 2 on that trip. The Mariners are 0 for 4 from the free throw line as Lynch right down the lane and finds a cutting Piedra. A beautiful two-man game from Liam Lynch and A.J. Piedra pushed the lead up to 14.
I mean, you took the words out of my mouth about the free throws. I mean, if the Mariners aren't going to beat you from three and they aren't going to beat you at the line, if the only way they can beat you is inside, and the Knights do a good job defending the inside, then it forces the Mariners to play to their weaknesses, which so far has not gone well.
Zalesic was fouled, so another chance offensively for the Mariners. Inbound Zalesic into the lane, floats up top, puts it off the window and in. He's got 12 points of the 15 for the Mariners. The other 3 coming from Isaac Wenzel. A takeaway, and Wenzel goes straight to the lane, draws a foul, or doesn't draw a foul, excuse me, but will force a timeout for Mount St. Mary as now the Mariners start to get a little momentum with the defense leading to the offense. They're just down by 10 with 5 minutes to go.
I mean, I think if you're the Knights, the only gripe you'd have so far is second chances, which so far the Mariners have not made the Knights pay for, but you want to call a timeout, you want to fix it before you do start having to pay for your mistakes. I mean, you're still up 10. You're still playing a really good basketball game, better than most of the games you've played all year. I like this timeout just to, catch a deep breath. We're still up 10. We don't need to hit the panic button, but let's not lose our cool here.
I remember talking to Coach Cad ahead of the contest against Purchase when the Knights were going to be taking on Rashid Nakima, also one of the top players in the conference. He said to me, I know Rashid, he's a phenomenal player, but if he's going to have 20 points, I want him taking 20 shots. I know that was the same sentiment coming into today's contest against Zalesic. They've done that. He's got 12 points, but he's also taken 12 field goals. He's 6 for 12 from the floor. He's the focal point of the offense for the Mariners, and the Knights have done a good job of saying, you can get what's yours, but you're going to have to fight every tooth and nail just to get a shot up.
And a lot of basketball teams, I mean, you live and die by having a true number one option. Because, I mean, this is a guy who's the only guy in the conference to average a double-double. But if the Knights can find a way, and he's at 12 of 17, if the Knights can find a way to either limit his touches or just slow down him on offense at all, I mean, you have a pretty good chance of stopping the rest of the Mariners. But nobody really in the Skyline has figured out how to do that yet.
And I'd have to predict that they're going to have all 40 minutes to try and stop him, because Coach Ron Pryor, as I was talking with him, he said, I don't think Drew's going to come off the floor on Saturday, and there's been games where he hasn't stepped off the floor. I expect that to be one of the same things today. As ball is loose, scooped up. Bensel looking for help, swung around the horn. Laverne, a runner on the baseline. A nice finish from Mason Laverne, the freshman at Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
And that's the other side of that coin for the Knights, is if they do manage to stop Zalisic and then the Mariners start scoring at them from all angles, then there's a lot of holes I don't know they can plug.
And the Mariners continue to ramp up that pressure. Another turnover by Justin Rivera. His foot stepped out of bounds, and that confidence starting to build for Merchant Marine.
If you have a lot of options for scoring independent of your number one guy, you'll be a pretty deep basketball team, and it seems like the Mariners are slowly starting to find their footing.
Laverne with under 10. Runner comes up short from Towson Smith. Graham down the lane.
Good finish.
Nice touch with the right hand, using the glass to his advantage. Lead goes back up to 10, where it's been basically the entire first half.
I don't know if this makes sense, but it doesn't really feel like a 10-point game in the sense, 10 points is a pretty sizable lead, but it doesn't quite feel like that the Knights are running away with it.
But at the same sense with how USMMA has struggled shooting the ball the entire season, 10 points certainly does feel like a lot, especially with them wanting to play inside and with this amoeba zone, as Coach Cad likes to call it. The Knights are crashing all 5 bodies basically into the paint if someone drives in.
Yeah, there's the flip side to it, Matt. Is 10 points, 13 now is a lot if your number one way to score the basketball is completely cut off. Good steal there.
Laverne pokes it away after the inbounds pass was taken out of the air by J.P. Egan. Laverne checks out, and he's frustrated. He's saying, I had nobody else to go to. Nobody was coming to help get the ball inbounded. A siren off the inbound. A little strong. Castleberry the rebound. And in transition, Colin Hart had a chance. Got caught under the basket, picks up his dribble. He was trapped, but good job to get out of it. Hart throws it away. Egan again jumping the lane. But Hart comes back. 3-on-2. Zalesic goes straight at Tucson and draws the foul.
The Knights are lucky their turnovers and second chances really haven't come back to bite them yet. 2 free throws on a possession that frankly should have been yours the whole way is certainly less than ideal.
Zalesic doesn't get the roll. Mariners still unable to score at the free throw line. They're 0 for 5.
And contrarily for the Mariners, if you're getting these second chances, if you're getting these trips to the line, you got to start taking these opportunities.
Good job breaking the press by the Knights. Graham, drive and kick. Rivera spots up a 3, rattles it in through contact as well. He was looking for the 4-point play, doesn't get it. It's going to be a long 2 is what they'll rule it as the lead goes up to 14. Strong finish down the left side of the lane by Isaac Wenzel. Rivera gets some space, retreats. Germino inside, tap to Graham, and he is fouled with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Keppel didn't go straight up, came down with the arms. It's going to be a foul every time, and Brendan Graham will go to the line to shoot 2. First trip to the free throw line for the Knights on this afternoon. And he misses off the back heel.
I mean, I suppose if you're the Knights, if you're doing as well as you have, you're up 12, and this is your first actual trip to the free throw line, it just shows you're doing pretty well for yourself.
And Graham splits the 2.
The Knights opting for a little more pressure on defense.
Come out in a 1-2-2, and they sit back into that zone.
Which so far the Mariners haven't really had an answer for. A lot of open three-point looks, but as we suspect, that's intentional.
Laverne comes up short. Germino nearly fell out of bounds and threw it straight into the arms of Zalesic. And a good job by Castleberry. Going to be hard to throw in transition when you got a 6'8" free safety back there. And Rivera just grabs to stop that transition opportunity.
Another takeaway for the Mariners. Like you said, that's just a hard pass to throw in transition, especially when the guy covering your guy is 6'8". I think that's something you just got to take off the floor, and for as well as your offense is done, just let the play develop.
Zalesic lost his footing, limping behind the play. Stretch pass ahead, Rivera.
Oh.
What a block by Isaac Wenzel. And now Zalesic has got some open space, puts it in off the window. I mean, what a block from Isaac Wenzel, pinning it against the glass.
Yeah, just a nice little chase down. Good sequence there for the Mariners.
A very minuscule difference between shot clock and game clock to where the Knights will be able to hold for the last shot.
If you're the Knights, this is the best you've felt about a first half in months. You're up 11 going into the break, and you've looked good doing it.
Graham checks the clock. Egan, an open look at the horn. No. And the first half comes to a close with the Knights holding a double-digit lead heading into the halftime break. I think probably the first time all season, and it's been huge for them to come out and do what they've done. Lucas, we talked about the success really being predicated on the defense and that zone that is just daring the Mariners to shoot.
Keep it going. I don't have too many notes. I think you have to be a little more careful with the basketball if you're the Knights. You're still up 11, but still you don't need to be making crazy passes down court. Just find the open man. But the defense has done really well, and the offense has done a good job playing off the success of the defense.
Rob Giramino leading the way for Mount St. Mary with 11 points. Drew Zalesic leads all scorers. He's got 15. He's going to look to get his team organized and try and make a push in this second half. We'll take a break here with halftime. Don't know why the horn went off, but it did. Lucas and I think, are going to dive into that pizza that got delivered to us at the start of the game. It might be a little cold, but I think both of us desperately need some food. Those of you at home, go get some food. Go get something to drink. We'll be back in about 14 minutes' time. Mount St. Mary with a 35-24 lead. Welcome back to the Kaplan Center. Second half action coming up. The Knights of Mount St. Mary hold an 11-point lead at the start of the second half over the Mariners of U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. 35-24, and we are underway in the second half. If you're just joining us, Matt Scalzo alongside Lucas Stackpole. We dove into that very cold pizza during halftime. We hope all of you back at home are refreshed and ready for the second half as the Mariners look to spark a comeback. 2 threes won't go. Zalesic, a pair of offensive rebounds, and he gets rewarded with a finish in close, cuts the lead down to 9.
And that was the thing I said the Knights needed to limit going into the break was those second chances. I mean, 2 missed threes, which is, I'd assume, a part of the Knights' game plan, but that leads into 2 offensive rebounds and third chance points. It's not a real efficient way to run a basketball game.
Graham, a tough jumper along the baseline, goes long and out of bounds off the arms of Giramino. So a bucket and a stop on the first 2 possessions for USMMA. I don't think head coach Rob Pryor could have drawn it up better. This is a team that their MO has really been those second half comebacks. As Laverne steps into a 3, comes up short. Zalesic couldn't get into the paint in time. Graham circling, dumps it off. Giramino, another triple, won't go. Giramino, that's his first miss. He was 4 for 4 from the floor to start this game, 3 for 3 from beyond the arc.
And if you're the Knights, then the key is just don't take your foot off the gas. I mean, they've played really good defense for the most part. They've played solid offense as they catch a break there.
Castleberry missed it in close, his second miss, and on the other end, the hoop, the harm from Ryan Graham. And the lead goes back up to 11. I think Castleberry just punched the wall. It's the second time today that he's missed from right along that left block. You know, you're that big. I know he can dunk. We've seen it in warm-ups. I'm surprised not to just step in and go up with 2 hands as the shooter's touch from Ryan Graham completes the 3-point play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it either. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot, as someone who can't dunk, I'm sure it's a lot harder than it sounds. But, I mean, yeah, you get all your big guy underneath, you just need him to finish.
He's shown his ability in warm-ups to go off 2 feet and dunk as Laverne swatted at from behind. Egan, the Grahams running in transition. Ryan, spot up 3, hits.
Got it.
Ryan Graham, 6 quick points after USMMA got a bucket and a stop to start the half. Ryan Graham taking over.
And I think in part, Castleberry, it's just a testament to this masterclass the Knights have put on defense. Everything the Mariners have done, it seems calculated. It seems that the Mariners are doing everything the Knights expected them to do. Crowd the inside, force them to take shots, force them to take long shots, which they have, but they have not done well. And, I mean, 2 minutes into the second half, still a long way to go. But that first half game plan seems to be effectively carrying over to the second half.
Head coach Rob Pryor has appeared to have taken a full timeout, so we'll step aside with him as he tries to look for an answer to unlock the key to beating this amoeba zone put on by Ryan Kadlubowski and the Mount St. Mary Knights. Welcome back out of the timeout. A 6-0 run by Ryan Graham has pushed the lead back up to 15 for Mount St. Mary, the largest lead of the afternoon. Rob Pryor and his USMMA team searching for an answer to unlocking this offense that has shown the ability to score over the last few weeks, and against a Mount St. Mary defense that has been giving up 84.5 points per game, the worst in the Skyline Conference, has had the Mariners' number.
I mean, it's just a perfect storm for the Knights. I mean, for the most part, they've run a pretty similar defense all year, and it's just the Mariners were the one team it seems like that this was designed to counter. They just haven't been able to get anything going.
Zalesic draws the foul, and he'll head to the line. And with how physical the Mariners play, you'd think the free throw line would be their friend. It has also not been the kindest to them. But Zalesic makes the first. He was 1 for 4 in that first half as a team, 1 for 6 from the free throw line. And he goes 2 for 2 on that trip. Brings it down to 13.
I mean, fairly limited trips combined with limited makes. I mean, that's what the Knights have done so well, is that they've effectively cut off 2 of the biggest 3 ways of scoring the basketball, from beyond the arc and from the free throw line.
Shot clock to 10. Ryan Graham takes a screen, kick, open, Egan in the corner, in and out. And the Mariners trying to run in transition. Wenzel is bumped by Egan. Stops any chance of the Mariners getting out in front of this transition defense from the Knights.
A bit of a calculated foul there for sure.
And Coach Cad's going to be completely okay with that. Zalesic. Wow.
Nicely done.
Splits through a double team and then another one. And the underhand scoop layup with the right hand brings it down to an 11-point game. Zalesic has 21 points. Rivera, an open 3, goes long, tapped back out to him. Graham takes a screen on the handoff from Siren, jumps up long, and here come the Mariners.
And at least so far with the defense the Mariners have run, somebody always seems to end up open. And not to the capacity that they did in the first half, but the Knights have been able to punish the Mariners for it.
Keppel's got an open 3. Comes up long, and then a foul goes against Keppel. Got tangled up with Graham. I think that's a foul he could wish he had back. And he'll check out as Towson Smith comes in.
Out of Roseville, California. Shout out to 916.
You a California man yourself?
I am.
Wow.
From about an hour south of Roseville, actually. That one ends up out of bounds.
Quite a long way from home.
Yeah, no kidding. Can't be too much further.
Getting across half court is Wenzel.
The Mariners certainly taking their time with the ball here.
Wenzel. Oh. And it goes out of bounds. They say off of USMMA, and Tucson cracks a smile, saying, yeah, that did go off of me, but they missed it. And it looked like Zalesic was going to have a easy layup if it wasn't for the help defense of Tucson, as Lynch goes right down the lane and floats it over the big man in Castleberry.
Good finish there. And that's another thing the Knights have done well on defense is, like you said, they touched on, if you want Zalesic to score the 22 points he's averaging, you want him to do it on 22 shots.
Zalesic hounded. Siren thought he traveled. It was definitely close. Foul goes against Liam Lynch, his first. And Zalesic knocks through the first free throw.
And these are stats just from the first half, so it's dated by about 5 minutes. But Zalesic took 13 shots from the field. The second most on his team was Wenzel with 4. So if you're able to limit the good looks Zalesic gets, or if you're able to, oh man,
Oh my goodness.
weaker than Kool-Aid in the ocean right there. That's textbook definition of a block.
Rivera thought he had an open layup. Perfect transition basketball from Mount St. Mary, and Clark Castleberry came out of nowhere.
And it's that length you've been harping on the whole game. I mean, Castleberry's 6'8". Hard to go up against that.
And you can't even argue that there was any contact. We could hear it from up here that was all ball.
All ball. Castleberry throw that one on the highlight reel for sure.
Timeout taken by Rob Pryor and the Mariners. Looking to draw something up. The transition game has been big for Mount St. Mary in this half. You saw it there. They've just been able to get that extra pass to break the press. And what I've noticed through this Mariners press is that they're trying to dare you to throw it in the middle in hopes that they are able to pick that pass off. We've seen it a couple times today, but the Knights have had the answer in this second half to getting through that press with relative ease.
Yeah, I mean, the Knights have been really good in transition because for the most part, that's really all they've had to do. Once you break the press, somebody's always going to be open under the rim on the perimeter. Siren knocks down a three-pointer.
That is not what Rob Pryor was trying to draw up out of that timeout. As Siren answers with a big three. The throw from Laverne looking for Castleberry in the middle. Sails high. Another forced turnover. It's the 14th turnover by the Mariners in this game. Ben Tucson hard to the rim, draws a foul. Zalesic is called for the foul. Tucson knocks through first free throw. Ben Tucson, a senior that has gotten a bit of an extended playing time with players being hurt, and he's taken advantage of it. Misses there. Siren, the follow and the putback off the missed free throw. Numbers for the Mariners. Straight to the rim and finishing in close goes Isaac Wenzel. And you can see the success there for the Mariners is when they're able to have the numbers advantage. They're able to get to the rim with relative ease, and they got the athleticism to beat the Knights to the cup. The issue has been is that the transition defense has been strong as Laverne takes it away, has inside position, and he draws a foul against Piedra. Gets called with the push.
It's hard in one-on-one like that. There's not much you can do before getting called for a foul. I mean, that looked somewhat clean, but it's just if it's just you and another guy on a fast break, the referees will call that every time.
Laverne knocks through the first free throw. And it's a smart foul from Piedra because Laverne is just a 44% free throw shooter on the season, was 0 for 2 in the first half. And you think, well, if I don't foul him, it's an easy layup and a guaranteed 2 points. Might as well make him work for it as he misses one. But Siren not able to get the rebound, and last touch. Well, they had it at last touch by Mount St. Mary. They switch it up, and now that foul looks pretty smart, which is 1 point coming away.
I mean, that's exactly it, especially just in transition. You just at least want to make the other guys earn their keep. And for a team that has struggled at the line today, like the Mariners, it's a trade-off you're more than happy with.
Graham, kick out to Egan. Back inside, Giramino. Good closeout. Toussaint spins down the lane, up with the left. Egan the follow, poked around. Graham comes away with it, and he finishes with the right hand. Zalesic was kind of slow getting to that ball. Was maybe thinking ahead, didn't fully squeeze the ball, and Ryan Graham said, "I'll take that." Lead is at 17.
And the pursuit of offensive boards, the Knights have been relentless in the second half. A lot of second chance points, which was my biggest concern for them on the other side of the ball, is there's a rare three-pointer for the Mariners.
Laverne knocks it through, and with how comfortable he looked on that three, you might be a little surprised that that is just the second made three of the entire game as Graham slips to Giramino. That's just beautiful basketball in transition.
And going back to the made three-pointers, as that one is another forced turnover for the Knights. Going back to the three-pointers, the Mariners are going to have to start doing that a whole lot more in order for the Knights to abandon their defensive game plan.
And now the issue has become is that from off of those makes, they go into that full court pressure, and the Knights have been able to get behind that first layer and then have numbers in transition as Giramino throws it away. Here comes Wenzel one-on-one. Good defense, but Wenzel gets it back, and he's fouled by Egan on the floor.
And like you touched on a little bit ago, it seems like the Mariners are just having a tough time finishing from point blank. All things, I mean, you could tell Giramino wasn't going to foul there. All things considered, that was a relatively uncontested shot.
Zalesic is grabbed. Egan got the ball, but it was Matt Monaco grabbing him and hitting him with the arm. Zalesic rolls it in. He's 5 for 9 at the line today. 22 points, so his average will stay the same. And now it might just pop up a little bit as now another timeout taken by Rob Pryor and USMMA, and he will take a full timeout, so we'll take one with him. 12:14 left to go in the second half. It's Mount St. Mary 53, U.S. Merchant Marine 39. Coming out of the timeout, it's a 53-39 lead for Mount St. Mary. That is the third timeout taken by Rob Pryor and U.S. Merchant Marine. They had a full timeout to draw up what they're going to do to try and slow down this Mount St. Mary offense. Had a chance in transition with Brendan Graham. Giramino didn't see him. Laverne pressuring Graham. He's able to get across half court with a second to spare. And then Laverne reaches in from behind. Gets called for a foul.
That's just a lot of what we've seen so far with the Mariners press is a lot of the time they've spent it playing catch-up. Like you said, Giramino would have had Graham in transition. He just didn't see him. And then the other Graham almost got around, diving effort to at least stop him. But still, I mean, it seems like Siren's three, that one
nearly rolled in.
That one won't go, but yeah, it's just the press I don't think it's been as effective as the Mariners had hoped it would be.
Ten seconds to shoot. Wenzel, backdoor cut. Zalesic, and the reverse layup goes. Lead cut down to 12. As that half-court pressure is kind of softened just a little bit. Siren in trouble as he picks up his dribble. Able to find an outlet in Monaco. Shot clock down to 6. Siren open up top, eyes up a three, comes up short. Laverne has it.
And that's just the tricky part. Somebody always ends up open. Pretty good look there from Siren, who is a good three-point shooter. Just couldn't get it to fall.
Egan in transition. Got it.
Shooter's touch there.
Bounced straight up in the air and fell down with very little movement from the net. Man, it didn't even look like the net moved as it fell through. Zalesic splits through. No shot. Fouled on the floor, but believe that's the 7th foul. He should be going to line. He is. And you think about how quickly that changed. That's a 5-6 point swing in the matter of seconds because Laverne went for the behind-the-back dribble and it went off his back foot, led to the Egan three. And that lead is blossomed to 14 when it was down to 11. And it was a 1-1. I think everyone thought it was 2 shots. We knew it was 1-1. I saw the official point to the floor.
I think that's how the bonus works if it's not a shooting foul.
Yeah. Graham has to take a timeout. That internal clock of 5 seconds going off in his head.
Nicely done there. I mean, you've done a good enough job. I think it's a timeout you can afford to lose.
Still got 4 to burn. 10 minutes to go. You hold a 14-point lead. And you don't want to give any sort of sense of hope or something to spark momentum. A turnover like that can really get this USMMA team going.
Exactly. I mean, you don't want to get complacent. You've done just about everything right. You're up 14. This is the best game you've played in almost 2 months. You can't take any chances.
Coach Rob Pryor trying to spur on his team. This has been one of the more challenging years for him. We've talked about the roster size at just 9. It's also the youngest team he's had, with 5 of the 9 players being freshmen. He's an experienced coach. He's been an assistant at the D1 level. Was an assistant coach at his alma mater in the Air Force Academy. Also spent a year under Fran McCaffrey when he was at Siena before he made the trip to Iowa. Graham, pump fake, eyes up a three, knocks it through.
That's pretty.
The flyby of Zalesic. And Graham makes no mistake about it. Drew Zalesic not on the court. That's his brother Aaron. First time today that Drew has not been on the floor. Laverne knifing through the lane. Puts it in with the left hand. Nice finish from Mason Laverne. Graham thinking about another. He's got another. Back-to-back threes from Ryan Graham. And he's got 21 points. And the lead grows up to 18. Another timeout taken by Coach Kadlubowski. Not exactly sure why, but he decided to take one.
Maybe just catch a deep breath. I mean, I personally, I don't want to say I disagree with it. I mean, you're up 18. You're in a really good spot. The only thing I can imagine is just give your guys a chance to grab their breath, maybe get some fresh legs out there. 2 back-to-back big threes from Ryan Graham. So I think, I don't want to say they're putting their feet up, but they're definitely just taking a minute to themselves.
Graham is certainly feeling it. 8 for 12 from the floor, 4 for 6 from beyond the arc. This season, he's just shooting 12.5% from beyond the arc. And he has now set a new season high with 21 points. His previous high was 18 against Purchase earlier this month. He might be thinking about his career high, which is 26 points. A couple more threes, and he's got it.
Certainly within reach, and with the way this game's been going, I mean, feed the hot hand. I would not be surprised if he gets a lot more shots up.
Inside, Aaron Zalesic. Outside, Laverne. Short and off the arm of Zalesic, who was in position for an offensive rebound. Tucson spin.
Good pass inside.
Siren was fouled from behind by Colin Hart. He'll go to line to shoot 2. Siren's gotten better as of late. He really went through a tough stretch with just 8 combined points through 2 games. He was held under double figures for a good bit of time, but he's turned it on as of late. Back-to-back double-figure outings, coming off 20 points against Maritime. And he's up to 9 points. Him and Ryan Graham, really the engines of this offense and the whole team. Their veteran leadership, and they're certainly showing their offensive prowess. As Castleberry, good defense by Siren, tracking back on defense. Here comes Graham in transition. Slows it down with Rivera. Castleberry hedges, Siren open 3, makes no mistake about it.
And for as well as the Knights have shot from 3, you figure the Mariners would make some sort of adjustment. I just always feel like the Knights end up with an open shot.
It feels like a total change of the script, Lucas, if I'm being honest. It feels like every other team has those open looks against Mount St. Mary. Today it's been the other way around. And you can see what the Knights can do from beyond the arc. They are 11 for 25 from 3. That is 44%. Piedra, he looks for number 12, and he's got number 12.
Another wide open look. And like you said, we've done a lot of games where the Knights have been on the wrong end of these kinds of games. I mean, the Knights getting a chance to shoot the lights out, and they're not missing it.
Hart, open look from the top of the key. The follow by Aaron Zalesic. No, he gets it back on his own end. Just looked like he was floating through the air on that possession. Able to get it down to 22. Graham gets away. Piedra open again. Comes up short. And that's out of bounds off of Drew Zalesic's foot. It feels like just every bounce is sort of going Mount St. Mary's way. It doesn't, not necessarily. They played a phenomenal game, but when you look at these kind of bouncing balls, it's kind of obscure that it just feels like it finds that random body part.
And for as long a season as it's been for the Knights, it's got to feel good just to have one of those games where everything ends up breaking your way. Siren again.
Wow, this is, I don't know how many threes in a row that they've just made.
It's high risk, high reward with the press. I mean, the Mariners have gone out of the way to double the ball every time it comes past half court. And for the most part, it hasn't bared any fruits just because somebody's always open, and the Knights have not missed.
They've made 3 straight threes in 3 straight possessions, I should add. Siren to Piedra, and then siren again. As Drew Zalesic goes down the lane. The follow by his brother wasn't good. He gets it back, goes back up with it. He's fouled again. I mean, Drew Zalesic, you got to tip your cap to him. When talking with Coach Rob Pryor, he says, Drew just loves basketball. He's like, there's a lot of people that play basketball, but they don't love it. Drew just loves going on the floor and competing every single day. And you've seen it on display today. There's a reason he's leading the conference in scoring. He's got 28 points. It's more than half of his team's points.
And then, I mean, he's the definitive #1 option on this team, too. I mean, he's taken 19 shots from the field, and that closest is Wenzel with 9. And then, I mean, obviously more shots tends to lead to more scoring, but if you're the guy that this team trusts to take 20 shots a game, he's certainly lived up to it.
And he's taken a beating as well. He's gone to the line 6 times. He's made 7 of his free throws as Graham sidestep. I'm going to steal one of your lines, Lucas. I got no notes on the three-point shooting that's going on right now. They've just been in the gym working, and they've taken advantage of a defense that plays perfectly into their hands. Smith gets a couple in the air, goes up, gets the foul as well. Won't go to the line. Mount St. Mary is 31. Nope, not even 31. I really can't read. 13 as Smith can't complete the three-point play, but the Knights are 13 of 28.
That's just under 50%.
From 3. Actually, it just updated. They're actually 14 of 29, so still just under. Meanwhile, on the season, they've been shooting a tick under 25% with just 6 threes per game. They've completely shattered both of those numbers.
They've doubled almost both of them.
Siren looks to make it 50. Tapped out and controlled by Smith. Zalesic up top, Laverne. Off the mark from deep.
The Knights still daring the Mariners to take that three-point shot, and it still has not come back to haunt them.
Turnover, Wenzel with a two-handed flush. Nearing the 4-minute mark, it's a 74-52 lead for Mount St. Mary. They are looking for their first win since November 19th. And foul on Smith. He was trying to spring it up ahead to Zalesic, who was all alone. He slams the ball in a little frustration. It's been a tough day all around for U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. It is a 1-and-1, and actually now it's a double bonus as the Knights have committed 10 fouls. So Smith will go to the line.
And I think if you're coach here, you're fine with that. I mean, it's just unfortunate circumstance. It's either go into the double bonus, make them earn their keep, or it's an easy two-handed flush for Zalesic. You'll make him shoot the free throws every time.
And for Smith, on that three-point play, when he missed the first free throw, doesn't get the roll there. That was just his first trip to the line on the season. So this is just his second, and he's 0 for 2. And I don't want to say it's necessarily this thought process from Coach Cad, but for a team that shoots 59% at the free throw line, and for one of their best players not exactly being the greatest free throw shooter, it's almost felt like a Shaq situation.
Oh, for sure. I mean, in those situations on the fast breaks, or even just before somebody gets the chance to go up with it, you'd much rather have them shoot twice than give them a free 2 points. Because for these guys that are 6'3", 6'6", 6'8", get it to them right under the rim. It's too easy for them just to go up and score.
Shot clock down to 10. Zalesik falls down. Siren puts up another three and hits another three. Connor Siren. 4 for 9 from beyond the arc. That's the 14th made three. Zalesik drops it to his brother, and Drew off a nice dish from Aaron.
14 threes at roughly a 50% clip. That's, like we were just talking about, that's double their averages on both percentage and three-pointers made.
Graham down the lane. Was looking for the three-point play. He'll still go to the line and shoot a pair. And timeout taken by U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. Graham will be going to the line. It looks like it is a full timeout, so Lucas and I will step aside with 3:04 left to go. 22-point advantage for the Knights, looking for their first win since November 19th. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the Kaplan Center. 3:04 left to go. A 22-point lead for Mount St. Mary. Ryan Graham heading to the line for 2 shots. And it rolls in and out on his first one. If you're just joining us, Matt Scalzo alongside Lucas Stackpole. It's been a Saturday doubleheader, and the Knights are looking for the sweep. The women's team had a dominant win over Farmingdale State in the opener, and the Knights of the men's team looking for their first win since November 19th and just their second win on the season. Laverne down the lane. Strong finish for Mason Laverne. It's not been USMMA's day. They've definitely had the comeback gene on the season, but this has been something that the Knights have been building towards, and Coach Kadlubowski had optimism heading into this game, rightfully so. It felt like he had a game plan for success. Well, they've executed on every level, and Ben Tucson bullying inside against Drew Zalesik pushes the Knights up to 80 points. The defense has been strong, and the offense has led to plenty of open looks from deep. That's off the mark. Tucson tracking it down, and it goes out of bounds off of Laverne with 2:13 left to go. Lucas and I have talked about it. 14 of 30 from beyond the arc, just shattering the averages that Mount St. Mary has put up in their three-point shooting efforts this year. The defense has ramped up, and the offense, it's just a complete flip of the script as Connor Siren bullies his way in. He gets up to 20 points in back-to-back games. As Zalesik, well, if there's been a bright spot for the Mariners, well, it's certainly been number 5 in gray, Drew Zalesik. He gets up to 32 points on that made basket. And I'll look to make it a 33-point day if he's able to complete this on the free throw. As now some backups are coming in. The Graham brothers have come out, as has Connor Siren. J.P. Egan comes out. And in comes Liam Lynch, Caleb Eller, Matt Monaco, and Daniel Hersner. What a day it's been for Ryan Graham, 22 points. That's a team high. Connor Siren right behind him with 20. Your two leaders putting on a show. And what will be their first win since November 19th. It's pretty much all academic from here on out. 23-point advantage. And the backups have come in for Coach Cad.
Just wire-to-wire dominance. I mean, their first win in 2 months, like we've kept harping on, but this was just a dominant win. This was no fluke. They came in, and the Knights been in the driver's seat the whole game.
They were ready for this matchup. They felt good about it, and they came in and they have executed on every level, except maybe stopping Drew Zalesic, but no one in the Skyline has really been able to accomplish that feat, so I wouldn't worry too hard about it.
No, of course not. And when Zalesic's taking 20, 25 shots a game, I don't think you lose too much sleep over giving up 30, 34 points.
Tapped out of bounds by Eller. 25 seconds to shoot. You talk about Zalesic and his shooting. Our stats have frozen a little bit, but as of the 146 mark, he had taken 19 shots. It's somewhere in the 20s in terms of shots that he has taken. And if you got 33 on that many shots, I think Coach Cad will be okay with it, making him earn every basket.
And that's what we're talking about went into the Knights' game plan. I mean, if Zalesic has 33, 35 now, I mean, you're fine with it. But if you, or rather, if he has 30, 35 on 20 shots, you can sleep at night.
He's got 35 on 22 shots. As that's poked from behind, but shot clock goes dark.
Even still in a game, you're going to win by 20 points. I don't think Coach Cad Lebowski's going to be stressing about it too much.
Laverne will take a shot right before the horn. That's off the mark. And the Knights snap the skid. The losing streak is over, and for the first time since November 19th, the Mount St. Mary Knights are victorious. They take it 82-61 over U.S. Merchant Marine Academy behind a phenomenal shooting day. They shot 54% from the floor and 14 of 31 from beyond the arc. Lucas, this felt like it was coming in due time, and this was a win that the Knights just desperately needed just to try and find some sort of momentum to carry forward into the last push.
Oh, for sure, and this is huge for morale. Like we said, first win in a while, snapped the skid, but this was just a dominant win. This is a win you feel good about. This is a win that sends a message. 82 points, shoot the lights out, win by 21. It's perfect.
The Mariners dropped to 6-11 overall, 2-6 in conference play. The Knights get to 2-15 with their first Skyline wins, so they're 1-7. Looking ahead for what lies ahead for both these two teams. Merchant Marine returns home for a 2-game homestand. Both of their coaches versus cancer games. It starts on Wednesday versus Manhattanville and then Yeshiva on Sunday. Meanwhile, for the Knights, they're going to be on the road for next week. They start on Long Island against St. Joseph's University, and then they got Old Westbury on Saturday. But that'll do it for today's doubleheader. It's a sweep for both teams. The men's team and the women's team both getting it done on this fine Saturday. The women's team took down Farmingdale State, and now the men's team with an 82-61 win over U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. That'll do it for today's broadcast. Special thanks to anyone that's stuck with me and Lucas through both of these two games. But for our entire production crew, and for my broadcast partner, Lucas Stackpole, I'm Matt Scalzo saying so long from the Kaplan Center. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.